All right, welcome. Oh my gosh, it feel good to be on YouTube, man. I've had to take a mental break from TikTok slightly. TikTok has been very, how should I say it, wishy washy. Something's been going on ever since kind of like the war and all of that stuff going on in Iran. TikTok has been very weird. So like I'm excited to just dibble and dabble into YouTube a little bit more than TikTok, and then every now and then, just not so focused on TikTok in these next couple weeks, I guess, until things go back to normal. Because they are really being extremely weird. My For You page ain't been the same. Videos, like everything's just weird. And I've been doing it for a long time. So you can kind of, you get the vibe of when something is off. Something is definitely off. So I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people have been saying it's the censorship with the war. They don't want you to talk about it. They don't want people to communicate about it. High possibility. That makes the most sense. It just sucks because I really don't want to talk about it that much. So it's affecting people that, ultimately don't even want to speak on it every single day. But I know for my main page that has, a large following, it seems like they're trying to suppress that because they know, you know, if I say something and, all of that. So I don't know. We'll see. But it feels good to go into the YouTube space and just get a little breath of fresh air. Again, I don't know if my red eye is visible as much as I can see it right now, but the pollen is out. I can smell it. I can feel it in my face. That is why my eye is bloodshot. I have been rubbing it all day, just this one eye. I am fine though. I don't have anything going on. So don't get any different ideas. But I definitely appreciate y'all for joining, the ones that have came from TikTok. I see, yep, a couple of people came from TikTok. I definitely appreciate it. I really do. I get to yap a little bit longer on him here and not really worry about getting censored and banned, all of that, man. It's just very annoying over there. But it's even more of a safe space over here. So I enjoy it. I really do. I did not watch Baron yet, but I will. I will watch Baron. I'll catch up. I had to finish watching Candace's episode tonight, but Baron, I will for sure. He will be the first thing in the morning. I did watch Baron. I'm caught up outside of tonight. And yes, I got monetized 2 hours ago. So yeah, it's lit. I got monetized 2 hours ago. The application process was kind of long. I submitted the application probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And everything went smooth with that. It was just a waiting process after that. And so 2 hours ago, I was watching Candace. It came up. So everything is officially monetized on YouTube and all of that stuff. So it is definitely a great feeling. I definitely appreciate y'all that's been rocking with me from the TikTok early days to now we going into the YouTube space. So I definitely really, really, really do appreciate y'all. But we got a lot to cover for sure. That is the beautiful thing about YouTube, is that I don't really feel rushed for real. We got a lot to cover with Candace and what she went into tonight. We're going to hit on, this whole idea of the Kirk Vance ticket that's been going around as well, which if y'all have been listening for a minute, we've kind of already been talking about that for a while. Since the CBS interview, we've been talking about how they were pushing for Erika Kirk to be a political figure. So we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about Trump and everything that's going on with that and how a lot of people are feeling about Trump. I feel slightly different, not in a positive way, not like, oh, everybody's wrong about him. More so like a neutral position, because I've been completely honest with y'all from the very jump. I did not vote at all in this past election. I didn't really feel compelled to. Both parties, both you know Trump and Kamala, just did not sit right with me at all. I don't blame anybody for voting for Trump. I don't, I thought Trump was definitely the better fit. So that's definitely no shot at anybody that voted for Trump. Because if I were to vote, if I had to vote, it would have been for Trump. I think he was the better fit. He was the overall most qualified. But yes, I did not vote at all. So my position on some of my comments that I'll make on him tonight is not from a place of disappointment, because I didn't really have a standard or a bar for him. I didn't really feel good about him to begin with. So that's where I'm at right now. It kind of validates why I am independent. So we'll go into that as well. Different things about Kamala that she has said. And yeah, so let's start this thing off with this Kirk Vance ticket that has been going around as a rumor. We've been hearing it quite a lot lately. We've been hearing it, I told y'all, since the CBS interview. That was the first time that I ever had a feeling that was like, this is totally different than talking about her grieving, the loss of her husband. That CBS interview was very odd, and I felt like it was a hard political launch. And the reason, one of the main factors that kind of played into that opinion for me, is when they started doing the questions at the end, and they started asking her random stuff. They started asking Shalami, what do you think about this going on in the world? And I was like, who cares? Who is this lady? I don't care about your opinion on really anything. So then when they started doing it at the end, I don't know if y'all remember that, but they had a panel at the end where everybody was asking her different questions. One guy, for some reason, he decided to sit in an Erika Kirk interview and sit there for an hour, 2 hours, and wait to the very end to ask Erika, how do you trust God more? I couldn't believe it. I'm not really the person that say you a grown man, but such and such and such. But in that situation, yeah, you are a grown man, and you decided to sit through a Erika Kirk interview just to ask her, how do you trust God more? That was so strange to me. And obviously we know that it was scripted. It was predetermined questions, whatever you want to call it. So she had time to think about it and pre-record it. Like, it was so strange. But that was the first time that I truly was like, something's off about this lady. All of this stuff. That girl got up there and said, how do you kind of balance the career girly boss babe lifestyle? And I was just like, what is going on? Who is Erika Kirk? Why do we care about how she feels about anything? And if y'all pay attention to political elections and, how they kind of, the different candidates, they go on panels and they go amongst other people that's running. And there's one, interviewer, whatever you want to call it, host, whatever you want to call it. They ask one question and they go down the line on how each individual feels about that question. That's how that felt. So I was like, nah, bro, that something felt off about the interview. But let's go into some of the things Candace shared tonight about with Mikey McCoy, Frank Turek. Some of these guys had different comments about this Erika Kirk, JD Vance ticket in 2020. So let me pull up the clip really quick. Please hold. Still a rookie at this YouTube stuff, so I'm gonna pull it up. 1 second. Okay. All right. So again, this is the Mike and McCoy, Frank Turek, the different comments. Tyler Boyer as well. I forgot to mention him. They had some interesting comments about Erika Kirk running for president. And it's going to get very, very weird soon. And I hope we're able to blow this whole thing up. I hope, they've been trying to gaslight us for a minute. So I hope that they realize the internet does not like this woman. And it completely destroys any idea of a Kirk Vance ticket in 2028. And also, if this does go through, JD Vance will lose a lot of people. So we'll see. Without further ado, let's let Queen Candace.
Next day with her kids in tow. Erika, so now and to be sure, whatever the attempt was with Erika, pay attention to me, media. It has failed categorically, so stop it. Okay, all of your little media spells are failing as of late.
About that, so yeah.
Do you see politics in her future down the road?
Yeah, it's funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, "Man, Erika could be so much bigger and better than me at almost everything." We laugh all the time about it because people were like, "Charlie was going to be president someday." He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
Whoa.
I want to play that one more time.
He was like, "Funny."
See politics in her future down the road.
Yeah, it's funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, "Man, Erika could be so much bigger and better than me."
So you're telling me, again, it's always in private. It's always in private when they say, "Oh, me and Charlie talked in private," because in public, it contradicts. In public, Charlie has said exactly how he feels about what a wife looks like to him. And that's staying at home if possible and just taking care of the kids, taking care of the house. Traditional husband-wife roles. He's been very vocal about that his whole career in front of a microphone. When all of this first went down, I went down an extreme rabbit hole of Charlie Kirk for the ones that have been following since then. It has been nothing but traditional roles for the husband-wife dynamic for Charlie Kirk and his perspective. But it somehow, since he's left this earth, all the people close to him continue to say, no, y'all got it all wrong. Charlie might have said that on the microphone. He might have said that on YouTube in front of his millions of subscribers and 5,000 people per event. But in private, Charlie told me that Erika was going to be way bigger than him. Charlie told me he didn't want Erika to be a housewife. He wanted Erika to be the president. He felt like Erika was going to be way bigger than him. He told me that in private, though. In private, I can't prove it because he's dead. But in private, that's what he told me. Like that, it continues to happen like that. Erika did the same thing when she said, "Oh, Charlie's blueprint, his notes, in his scrapbook, whatever you want to call it, diary, this fake made up thing that Erika continues to say that Charlie has." But that's because everything that's in the public eye, every video we have contradicts everything these people say. Everything these people say about Charlie. So they say, "Oh, in private, Charlie said such and such. Charlie said something different." It's very weird, very strange. It bothers me because the idea of betrayal makes me sick. That is like one of the worst feelings that you could ever feel or see somebody go through. You couldn't even imagine. You know what I mean? Feeling betrayed. Somebody that you thought loved you and was in your best interest and would do anything for you, look out for you. And then that same person betrays you and is a snake, gets you set up, in this situation, set up to be taken forever. That is one thing that makes my stomach turn. And that's one reason why I have been so locked in on this case, is because of how many people did that to him. It wasn't just one. And if it was just one, it's one of the biggest, which is his wife. But that wasn't even the only one. All of these people that call themselves best friends of Charlie, great friend of Charlie. I hung out with him all the time, this, that, and the third. And these are the very people coming on stage, coming on podcasts, on the news, saying the complete opposite of what Charlie stood for. Like, it makes me sick thinking about it. But apparently, Charlie told Tyler Boyer in the dark that Erika was going to be bigger than him. Don't know how that works. He's already hundreds of millions deep, right? Hundreds and hundreds of millions deep. But somehow he thinks Erika is going to be bigger than him when she truly has nothing to show to prove that. It's not like he's saw glimpses. Like, oh, I see what you've done in the past with your previous businesses, anything like that. He's the breadwinner. Now, obviously, her mom has millions. But there has been nothing Erika's done to prove to Charlie, for Charlie to say this to Tyler Boyer.
Almost everything we laugh all the time about it because people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
Whoa.
It's sick. It's sick. And then this is what Frank Turek said and Mikey McCoy and stuff like that. And towards the end, I would definitely go through every single comment if I can. Y'all know me. I love to interact and talk and yap. So let me get through all of this. That way we can get through the content. And then at the end, we'll go through every single comment. Let's get to Frank Turek. And let's see what Frank Turek and Mikey McCoy said about Erika Kirk running for president, or the idea of it.
Kirk. And I said, I don't know if you want the ticket.
2 weeks following Charlie's assassination. Take a listen.
I used to say to him, the ticket in 2028 is going to be Vance Kirk. And I said, I don't know if you want to take it because I don't think you're going to have the same effect as the president of Turning Point USA. But You know what? Between you and me and our listeners, I'm not giving up on the Vance Kirk ticket.
Well, it's very exciting right there. But
I think Erika would be an amazing president someday.
That, my friend.
He is better than that. Let's wait for Mikey McCoy's response. Here we go.
Echoing that sentiment. Take a listen.
He left behind these blueprints for her. And
for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And for you, Mikey.
And
that sentiment.
Bro, please listen to how cringy this part is.
Take a listen.
He left behind these blueprints for her. And
for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And for you, Mikey.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We about to start figuring out who is Mikey McCoy, because what are you talking about, Frank Turek? Mikey McCoy trying to say he left behind stuff for Erika Kirk. Cool, that's normal. Frank Turek comes out of nowhere talking about, and you too, Mikey. Those blueprints was for you too, Mikey. Who is Mikey McCoy? And why do they think he's the baby Charlie? I've never heard bruh speak outside of these interviews. But these folks treat him like he is the baby Charlie. He got out of high school and got this. See, he has a strange history. And, I'm going to definitely have to look into that some more. But the whole Erika saying amazing Mikey McCoy, that threw me off because this is supposed to be your husband's somewhat best friend and employee. He get popped in the neck and he immediately walks off with the phone to his ear. Nobody know he's dead yet, by the way, right? Nobody knew Charlie was gone yet. We just knew what happened. We saw what happened. So instead of him running to Charlie, because we don't know what happened, I would assume he shouldn't know what happened. He chooses to walk away and calls his wife. Remember, we have the call logs, right? I believe they're fabricated, in my opinion, but we have the call logs that Mikey brought to the table. Take that back. Erika brought to the table. That was on behalf of Mikey's call logs. And Mikey called his wife first. Charlie gets popped and he calls his wife first. And Frank Turek and other people said that Charlie had this thing in place, this training in place where Mikey's supposed to call Erika immediately if something ever happens. That's why he got on the phone so fast. If y'all, I'm trying to, refresh y'all memory. That's what they said on the reason on why Mikey got on the phone so fast and all that. Oh, Charlie trained him to do that. Okay. So if he was trained to do that, why didn't he do that? Because the first person he called was his wife. So did Charlie tell him to call his wife first? If anything happens to me, Mikey, call your wife first. Don't call my wife. Call your wife. That'll help. But even with this information, Erika still called Mikey amazing. I'm not going to hold y'all. Me personally, first off, I would have set the whole thing up. The whole turning point, the whole building, every single one of these people, it would have been up. I would not have spared a single one of them if I was the spouse that I lost my spouse in this type of way. And I'm looking at all the footage and I see Mikey walking away on the phone. I'm seeing Brian Harbaugh squeezing stuff. I'm seeing what's bro name? Dan Flood in the back doing all of these hand signals. Bro, I would have set the whole thing off if I was Erika. Whole thing off. You got all these people that swear they loved my husband and worked for my husband and all this other stuff, saying they was best friends. And I'm seeing all of y'all act very strange when it's time for the moment. But I just don't understand. I don't get it. Sometimes I feel like I'm like in some type of matrix. I'm like, who are these people real? But I know I just went on a tangent. It blows my mind thinking about all of these different characters that played a role in Charlie's life and how they're all weird. Each one of these three individuals on this screen is weird. Each one of them.
And
go ahead. And for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And for you, Mikey.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Yeah. We don't really ever know what the outcome's going to be. I definitely thought maybe there would be a Vance Kirk ticket. Maybe there still will be a Vance Kirk ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Just the thought of Erika Kirk running for or being JD Vance's running mate just blows my mind. It just makes me sick to my stomach. Really, really does. And to be honest, a lot of people, there are a lot of people out there that still will ride or die. I call them the Shalami soldiers. They'll do anything. They'll defend absolutely anything Erika Kirk does. I've never seen it in my life because at this point, you are defending, I don't want to say a criminal, but borderline. There's a lot of accusations out there and you're defending it. I seen them come defend Erika when her talking to that 15-year-old. They came to her defense then. I couldn't believe it. But Erika and JD Vance choose to run for president, or JD Vance chooses to run for president, and he uses Erika as his running mate, I don't think JD Vance gonna win. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know who's coming out on the Democratic ticket. But if JD Vance, with everything going on right now with the war and how he used to say certain things, and now with this war going on, he completely contradicted what he used to say. He's been like radio silent throughout all of this stuff. Now, after all of this, right, Trump has already made it extremely hard for you. And then with all of this, you think the best thing to do is to come out with Erika Kirk on your side? Bad move, brother. And I'll be honest. What is it, 2026? 2 years ago or so, whenever JD Vance had debated Tim Walsh. When JD Vance when he had that debate with Tim Walsh, that was the VP, right? The running mate for Kamala. I love JD Vance. I really did. I listened to that whole debate. I even made videos about it when I was on TikTok then. And I had many videos saying, bro, I love JD Vance. He's going to be the president one day. I love this guy. He seems so nice, so genuine, so down to earth, so real. And I was all for him, like in that moment. And I said, bro, this dude is great. Then as the years went by, I started just to like, Trump doing this stuff right now, JD's silent. Now, don't get me wrong. We all understand how it works. You can't go against your own party. Same thing, Kamala. That was her issue. When Joe Biden was visibly not well, she couldn't even admit that. And we knew she was lying. She continued to say, he's fine. He's fine. And don't get me wrong, the press, they set her up because you can't say anything bad about your own party. It just don't work like that. That's the world we live in right now, the country we live in right now. But that's what's going on with JD Vance, is that Trump is doing all this stuff. JD looking crazy because JD can't say nothing. He's not saying nothing. And he's on record for being against everything that's going on right now. In the pre-election and all of the campaign, he's against everything that's going on right now. He has said with his own mouth, no new wars. And don't, troops stay at home. We don't need to be sending our young troops out of the country and far away and putting them in harm's way. And that's what's going on right now. So JD Vance has been on record saying all of this stuff. And now look where we're at. So it's already a tricky and sticky situation for JD Vance at the moment. But to top it off, you think you're going to have Erika Kirk on your side in 2028? No, sir. No, sir. If you haven't learned anything, you need to learn one thing. Erika Kirk, when she went on that campaign tour, that was the worst thing she could have ever did in her entire life. That's when people started to find out who she was. She was way better when nobody knew who she was. If she would have just, everything went down with this Charlie Kirk situation and she just put on some shades, stayed in the dark for 3 years, and then popped out in 2028, she had a chance. But JD Vance with Kirk, it's not happening. It's not happening. He's going to lose a lot of people. He, with all this stuff going on, him, I hate to put this accusation out here, but this is my opinion. Once all of these weird things started going on with Charlie Kirk and how nothing started to add up, and then you started to see JD Vance getting involved more with turning point events, and going on podcasts, and Erika Kirk endorsed him super early. You know, JD Vance was on the plane carrying Charlie's casket. None of this sounds right at all with the Charlie Kirk investigation, but JD Vance isn't saying anything at all about it. Nor is Trump. So I'm not putting the sole blame on JD Vance. I'm just saying all of these things add up. All of these things add up. I understand he can't go against the Republican Party and all of that, but he needs to understand what comes with that, because in 2028, ain't nobody gonna vote for you, big dog. Nobody. Charlie Kirk had on a mission statement with Turning Point many, many years ago when it first came out that Turning Point USA is not a political organization. They were never supposed to pick a side. And I think we can all agree that that is not the case anymore. Turning Point is a full-blown Republican organization. Full-blown, in my opinion. And it is being now funneled, you know, outside foreign influence. They're infiltrating Turning Point, using it for their own ways, their own political gain. The whole now. We've already talked about that many times, but JD Vance doing that in 2028 is going to be a terrible idea. And for the ones that have seen, let's see, for the ones that haven't seen it yet, shout out to Barron for bringing this to the light for everybody to see. But look at this right here. A Vance Kirk 2028 website. So for anybody that thinks that it's not getting real, it's getting real. They pushing for this. They pushing for this. And please don't have me verify everything. It's already been verified by Barron. I also verified it as well once I got done watching Barron. You know, I went to the domain websites to figure out when it was created, you know, all of those different times. And I believe it was created 2 days after Charlie passed. 2. And let me see if I can find it real quick so we can see it together. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I think it is very important to see when this was created. Let me make sure I have the right website. My apologies for taking a while, but this will be very important just so you guys can see. So, as you can see right here, VanceKirk2028.com created on Friday, September 12th, 2025. 2 days after Charlie was assassinated. And I've gone through these tabs right here to figure out who owns this website, like who did it. You can't really find too much of like, and what's interesting about this as well is that all of these different tabs right here will show some type of content. Expiration expires in 2028. Last update, availability, registered. But when you click on owner, it's blank. Not really sure why. Could be a coincidence, maybe. I feel like Turning Point and anybody affiliated with these people are out of coincidences, but maybe. But when you click on other things, register with GoDaddy.com, every other tab has content except the owner tab. Now, I could be overthinking this, and it's, who knows? I just thought it was very strange. That when I finally got to who owns the website, I wasn't able to validate that because it was blank. But every other tab had something there. But again, could be a coincidence, maybe. But yes, Vance Kirk website, 2028.com. Launching soon. So, yeah, man. If JD Vance runs for president in 2028 alongside with Erika Kirk, it's not going to end well for him. It's not. And another reason, one thing that I wanted to hit on really quick, if I can, is a video that's going viral with Erika Kirk and her perspectives on a few different topics in her days of Miss Arizona. Let me find it really quick. Some of you guys probably already know what I'm talking about, but Erika Kirk had different perspectives on topics that aren't so Christian. And mind you, this would be after she locked herself in a room for 8 months, only talked to her pastor's wife, all of that, read the Bible from cover to cover multiple times. That's her words. So let me see if I can find it really quick. Here it is right here.
Arizona. And if you listen, but let's just see what it is. Let's
makeup mirror in general and
note to wait on
more thing. I wish.
Here, let's listen to her 3 answers. Let's just listen to what.
All right, if you could be great at one thing, I don't even want to hear this one.
You know what I can do? Let me check this.
You got. All right, here we go.
If not, I'll just read it.
And Barron's going to end up just reading her response. I couldn't find Nicey's page on the original creditor to this video, but Barron's going to read her response on what Erika said in her Miss Arizona interview on what she feels about that industry that you can see on the screen. And listen to what Erika says. Again, Barron's going to read her response, but listen to the response.
I have respect for their professional.
Erika's words when asked a question. These are her words, not mine. I'll just read it as it comes up. I have respect for the individuals that are in the pornography industry, not because they're degrading women or anything like that, but because that's their field and they are professionals. So I give them credit for being able to have a job and make money and stimulate the economy that way. But I think that there needs to be a way to shield it from the overall public, such as the kids. Keep it away from them. But in general, if that's a tough one, hold on. I looked away and then she got past me. That's a tough one. I really have to say that we live in a free country. So if you want to watch it, turn on your pay-per-view. If not, then why don't you turn on something else a little bit more G-rated? Just a thought. Now that is on pornography. That's her position in 2012.
Future president. I guess if you want to be honest, checks out, right? Vice presidents are weird. Presidents are weird. They all have this weird past. That's what the Shalami soldiers have been saying online. Why y'all going at Erika? She's not perfect. Everybody has flaws. Everybody messes up in life. Everybody does this. Everybody does this, that, and the third. They come up with all these different things to defend her, to make it seem like she's more normal than we think because of all of these different mess ups in her life. But the problem has never really been the amount of time she messes up. The problem is that she just lies and pretends that she has never messed up. That's the issue. If she were to come out and was just honest from the jump, it wouldn't be a problem. First off, nobody asked her about those boyfriends that she lied about. Nobody asked her to say she didn't date in 5 years before meeting Charlie. Nobody asked her to say that. She brought that up on her own, and it ended up being a lie. But why couldn't she just say, I've had boyfriends in the past, like everybody here probably. They just didn't work out. And ultimately, I'm happy it didn't work out because look who I have now. The love of my life, Charlie Kirk. We're married, going on such amount of years, 2 kids. It worked out. That's cool. Nobody would care. But she continues to lie and make it seem like she is this very perfect, holy, innocent person. That's what bothers a lot of people, because her perspective on the ography industry, she's saying, look, to the people that be doing all of that, getting down dirty, y'all do y'all help stimulate the economy. For the consumers, if you want to watch it, put on your pay-per-view. If you don't want to watch it, find something else. Lady, didn't you just say before this video, you locked yourself in the room for 8 months and you read the Bible from cover to cover, and you met with your pastor's wife? That's the only person you talk to. And you really got into the word. But then here she comes years later saying, yeah, that industry, fine with me. Hey, to the girls that's in that, shout out to them. Do y'all. That's why I say she's very performative. Very performative. It depends who's in the room. That's the Erika you'll get. That's the Shalami you'll get. That is the Shalami you'll get. Because one day she's the Shabbat Shalami. But then the next day, she's this Protestant Christian. This Jesus, that, which she doesn't really say often anymore. She used to. Then one day she's extremely Catholic. She can't make up her mind. The only thing I ever ask is just people to be honest. If she were to be honest and vulnerable, she would go far. She has the looks to be something. You know what I mean? Like she could have been something. I could see the vision. I'm not going to sit here and act like I couldn't see the vision. If she didn't talk at all, I could see the vision. She has like the public face to speak about something. The content, I don't know. But when she continues to lie, not address huge accusations like talking to a 15-year-old when you were 25. Can you explain that? She don't want to say nothing about that. It's stuff like that. And many other things that we can go on all night about on how this lady had just been dishonest from the very beginning. And now all of a sudden you're supposed to be this same lady is now running a huge organization that influences a lot of the youth on who they should vote for. Is this the woman you want leading your kids to the voting polls? She's running Turning Point. Turning Point, yes, it's a Republican organization. but they go after kids a lot. I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with it. Very strange. Probably a conversation for another day. But they go after a lot of kids. They go inside of them high schools. They're going inside of high schools every single day. And it's getting further and further down that rabbit hole. I don't know why they're going inside of these high schools so much, but they're going into the high schools with Club America. They're opening up chapters for colleges. So this woman that is extremely dishonest is telling the youth who to vote for. And now we have to just hope that our youth is educated to understand that she is not a great influence. Don't listen to what she's saying. That's why it's a huge concern for me. This isn't just a random person. This is somebody that is literally taking over Charlie Kirk's organization. Mind you, personally, Charlie Kirk changed my views on a lot. That just goes to show you how powerful his voice was. Because it was really his voice. It really wasn't Turning Point. I can care less about a Turning Point. But his voice was very powerful. But the platform Turning Point has, then obviously is going downhill, yes. But they have a large enough platform where she can go on stage and publicly endorse JD Vance, and it gets plastered all over the news. And the old heads they ain't on YouTube like us right now. The old heads ain't on TikTok. They're not on YouTube. They're not on none of that. They watching the news though. They in those newspapers. So you got the influence of the youth. Then you got the old heads that don't know what's going on at all. They just see JD Vance and Kirk and they just do it. So yeah, we got some big problems on our hands. But stuff like this comes up and you see who Erika Kirk used to be, and people can change. I would never, ever, ever say someone can't change. I would never judge anybody due to their past and hold that against them. But the first step is being honest about your past. I would never, ever claim to be this perfect guy. I've done a lot of crazy things that I'm not proud of. But ultimately, all of those things have made me who I am today. So I'm not proud of it, but I've accepted that all of those things combined and collectively have made me who I am right now at this moment. That's all people ever ask for with anybody. So that's going to be her biggest thing. And that's going to be JD Vance's biggest problem as well. Now, speaking of Turning Point and what they're doing to Charlie's legacy, Charlie had different perspectives on, or a certain perspective on this Iran war. And I probably won't get into like the specifics of the war because that's very extremely, all that. This is a very surface level conversation. But Charlie had different perspectives on the war, and it's very public on how he felt about it. And for some reason, again, the people that were supposed to love him the most, his best friends, his wife, these are the people that are getting on the air and now saying, you guys have it all wrong. Charlie didn't even feel that way about the war. He would have supported the war. When all we have is proof and evidence like this that shows how Charlie Kirk felt about the war.
Potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many.
And so you get his point.
He's
trying to convey that it's a terrible idea to go to war with Iran, which obviously we're in right now. And that is surfacing all over the internet. Charlie Kirk's perspective on the war with Iran and how he went to the White House office last year and stopped the war. And he has tweets going out. It's all over X. Tweets going out and everything saying, thank you, Trump, for not falling into the traps and all that stuff. But then what was so funny to me, one of the funniest things, is that Turning Point USA decided to tweet out a video of Charlie Kirk being pro-regime change or pro-war prior to his views and perspectives changing about it. So they didn't take how he recently felt about it before he passed, because that was one way. That's what we just heard. That's how he felt before he died. They decided to post a video on Turning Point USA's Twitter page, X page, of how he used to feel about the Iran war, regime change, however you want to call it. And I'm only going to play a short clip of it, but you're going to see that it's a slightly different perspective Charlie has about it.
How much do you actually know about Iran? Persia was a great power, and then Iran took a turn for the worst. Interestingly enough, there was the Shah of Iran, and then the Shah was displaced by Mossadegh. Mossadegh was democratically elected. Now, to be very fair, the United States and Britain got rid of Mossadegh, and then we reinstalled the Shah. Bad decision, which then led to the Iranian Revolution, where radical Islam took over Iran. Look at some of these pictures of what Iran used to be. It was wealthy, it was proud, it was strong. The Persians are wonderful people. Some of my closest friends are Persians, and I love the Persian people. And we should have a heart for the Persian people to try and have a better future. Regime change is very difficult to talk about. I actually don't like talking about regime change. It's very complicated, but understand that there can be brighter days ahead for
the Iranian people. So you would think, again, that based off this video, Charlie Kirk is pro-regime change. But this was before he changed his mind on how he felt about it before he died. And it was so bad that Turning Point got community noted on X. Basically, if you don't know what community noted means, that means like, hey, you're lying. You're lying about this person. That's not how they felt. This is completely out of context. And Turning Point USA got community noted and said this clip predates Charlie Kirk's June 2025 statement calling regime change in Iran pathologically insane. He opposed war. So whenever this clip was that they decided to release about Charlie, X community noted Turning Point USA's page, which, again, I'm going to assume is ultimately ran by Erika Kirk. I feel like she makes the calls. So they put out this video to push a narrative to say that Charlie Kirk would have backed this war, because you know they love to use Charlie Kirk as a shield. the ghost of Charlie. He's in here with us. He's in me. He's in you. And they got community noted. X literally community noted him and say, you're lying. This is not how Charlie Kirk felt about it. But it gets even worse. Not only did X say that, let's also listen to what his best friends, his coworkers, I don't even know what else you want to call them. Let's hear what they had to say about apparently how Charlie would feel if he was alive today.
He also always did have trust with the president, and he would look for the bright side of things. And he was an American patriot, so he would pray for our success once that began. And I just want to say that to offer perspective on how I think he would have felt about this. And that's not to use Charlie as a shield. That is not to say everything just revolves around him, because he's not with us anymore. But I know all of us are feeling the lack of Charlie in a moment like this, because he was a natural leader of the movement.
Well, I think that's also, like, as soon as all of this broke out, you saw that social media immediately went to go find Charlie clips, because he still is, even in death, like the leading voice on a matter like this.
Well, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and it makes me upset though, because for these people that didn't actually know Charlie, like Blake, you said it, in private, he would be not happy with the situation, and he would express his thoughts. You would oftentimes see him talk about it on the show, but then as soon as this would happen, he would have trust in the president. He would try to calm people down. And so it's really irritating for me to see so many people on social media have the opposite reaction, to use his voice to actually cause chaos,
I don't really understand how that's the opposite reaction. He just said in private Charlie would be very upset about everything that's going on. The people are upset about everything that's going on. That's not the opposite of what's going on. The amazing Mikey McCoy then goes to say Charlie would come on the internet or whatever and support Trump and say everything's okay and try to calm people down. That's fine, brother. These people aren't Charlie Kirk. It's not their job to go on Twitter and calm everybody down. So he's basically admitting that Charlie Kirk would go online to push a narrative, spread propaganda. He's admitting to that. He's admitting that Charlie Kirk would lie to everybody and say, yeah, I don't agree with this at all, but I'm going to get on national TV because they paid me to do so. And I'm going to say, hey, Trump's doing the right thing, everybody. That goes against everything Charlie stood for. So that's why I don't really understand who these people are, because they're not Charlie's friends, bro. They're not Charlie's friends. This man just outed Charlie, basically. Yeah, Charlie would have got up there and lied to everybody just to make Trump feel good. He would have basically said Charlie follows Trump with like blind faith.
I don't actually cause down. And so it's really irritating for me to see so many people on social media have the opposite reaction, to use his voice to actually cause chaos, to actually cause fear of the situation, to actually cause hatred of President Trump in this whole ordeal, when actually that's not what he would want.
Well, so how would they use his voice to calm everybody down? There's not a single Mikey McCoy, there's not a single video out there of Charlie Kirk calming everybody down with this Iran war. So yes, the only thing people have are videos of him saying, don't do it. Excuse me. Don't do it. And he's saying he's irritated that people are bringing those videos up, because that's not what Charlie would do. Dude, these people, man. These people. It's crazy. And so, that leads me into the next conversation of how Candace feels about Trump and everything he has done with this war going on with Iran and how, he campaigned on no new wars, but here we are. And if you don't remember, Candace, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, they played a huge factor into Trump getting elected. Huge factor. I remember election night. Candace was posting a lot. I don't know if she was live, but she was posting a lot. The second he won, she posted a video, was so happy. Charlie too. I think Charlie got a video clip of him crying. Those two played a huge role in Trump getting elected. Tucker Carlson as well. And I don't know if y'all heard, but Trump is basically saying Tucker Carlson is crazy and he's not American first. So Trump is now calling the very people that supported him and got him into office. He's now turning his back on them, not only the American people or his people that supported him, the people that voted for him, not only those people, but also the very people that put in nights, hours into getting him in that seat. He's now turning his back on them, calling them all crazy. He turned his back on Charlie, all in my opinion, but he turned his back on Charlie because Charlie's no longer here. And I'm not going to say Trump has something to do with it, but I can say the simple thing or the simple fact of Trump knows that something is off and he's doing nothing about it. That's turning his back on Charlie. Turn his back on Candace because Candace was part of the Charlie crew. And now that Charlie's gone, Candace was expecting Trump to step in and say, nah. You know how much Charlie loved you, bro. You know how much he loved you. Don't do him like that. And he ain't doing nothing. He turned his back on Tucker Carlson by saying Tucker Carlson is not America first because Tucker Carlson doesn't want Israel to be first. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. In order to be America first, you have to put Israel first. That's what Trump is getting at. So Tucker Carlson is crazy, man, apparently. So it's crazy to see, but let's get to how Candace feels about Trump because she's definitely very emotional about it, and she has every right to feel this way.
Donald Trump, I sort of ignore the topic of his existence altogether because it kind of sickens me, as it should. It should. If you were 2015, 2016 running around in a MAGA hat, catching all of the figurative bullets for supporting him, standing up to the never Trumpers who are now running his administration, this level of deceit and betrayal should sicken you, right? The human spirit isn't really meant to contend with that sort of deceit. You're not supposed to even fathom a scenario where someone like Charlie Kirk quite literally dedicates his entire professional career, builds up an organization meant to help Trump, to empower Trump, conservative principles, one way or the other. And in return, when Charlie Kirk is assassinated in front of the world, Trump dedicates a total of two tweets, 3 tweets at most, to demanding, and he'd never demanded an investigation. And one of those tweets that he dedicates to Charlie Kirk is an AI image of Charlie hugging an Israeli flag. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Trump has shown more interest in debunking the mainstream media narrative about whether or not he's balding than he showed any interest in investigating who murdered a person who was supposed to be his dear friend. It was, I will employ every reason. Nope. He was good. So how exactly are we supposed to process that? We are to simply understand, I think, that Trump has loyalty to no one but himself. It probably wasn't even anything that deep that they offered him. It was probably just like, hey, we'll give you a piece of real estate in Gaza with your name on it. Also, favorable headlines in the New York Times. We put that on your desk every morning and we tell you this is how everybody thinks. You think they still have power. Honestly, that's probably all it took for Trump to betray not just the legacy and the memory of Charlie Kirk, but also his supporters, the very supporters who followed him into battle. Some who literally spent time in prison after January 6th because they believed in him. Trump has betrayed every last single one of us, okay? Make no mistake about that. Trump is now a never-Trumper. The very people that we had to fight to get Trump into office, he is now partnered with and insulting us. And he thinks that we're too stupid to notice or something. That he promised low gas prices, that he promised no more forever wars, no more involvement in Middle East conflict. And we're now getting the exact opposite. And that's happening because he's a coward. He is a coward for doing this to the American people. And that's going to be his legacy. His legacy is going to be a person who could not stand up to Bibi Netanyahu, a person who just loves money and loves the idea of his name on anything. This is what the world will remember about Donald Trump. Thus far, in 1 year, to recap, his administration has worked to allow the slow erosion of the First Amendment on college campuses, special carve-outs for anti-Semitism. So, in effect, hate speech.
And yeah, it's a couple of other things in here. Let me see if she plays. Yeah, here's a quick clip of what's going on in Iran.
Much peace. Let's actually take a look at some live footage of the peace that we are currently spreading in the Middle East. Yeah. Preemptive peace. We had to do, I can explain it. I can explain it for you guys. It looks like peace. I will reiterate my perspective that.
Yeah, and it's bad. I believe we're up to 7 American soldiers that have been killed in the war. And Trump has gone up there numerous times and have said there will be more. That is the risk I'm willing to take. I think everybody was laughing because I think he quoted Lord Farquaad from Shrek. And he said, a lot of people may die, but that's the risk. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to take. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe hearing it. Now, don't get me wrong. When people sign up for the military, they know what comes with that. But I think it gets to another point when your soldiers are dying for another country. That's totally different than just saying you sign up for the military, you know what comes with that. You know the sacrifice, you know the risk. It's totally different when all of those things are at stake for another country. They talk about boots on the ground in Iran, but they only talk about American soldiers. Boots on the ground in Iran. No Israeli soldiers. I don't even think there has been any Israeli soldiers that have been, you know what I mean, life taken away. It's only been American soldiers. And Trump is willing to continue to put American soldiers on the line, on the front lines at that. It's sick. And I'm with Candace on her perspective of take your children out the military, take your sons out the military. If this is how Trump want to go, take your sons out the military. Because this is very, it's just kind of like my first take on the war on any platform. I try to stay out of all of that, but I'm just, it's sick to just watch and knowing like where this world, where this country, us, where we're headed to. Because this goes into a different conversation as well with people voting for left or right, conservative or liberal, Democrat or Republican. And this is why I stand right in the middle. And this is leading back to how we started off this episode, this show tonight, is this is why I stand right in the middle, because I saw evil on both sides. And I can't stand behind either, or either, however you guys like to pronounce that. I can't do it. I saw it then. Not that I knew that this was going to happen, nothing like that. But I just see right through the left versus the right, liberal versus conservative. Now, yes, I do have conservative views. My views align more with the Republican Party at the moment. However, I'm, again, conservative views, but I would vote for anybody if it makes sense to me. I'm not dedicated or committed to one side or the other. I will flip-flop in a heartbeat. If it makes sense, great. If it puts my family in better positions, great. So I've never bought into the left or the right. But one thing that people got to understand, that I've tried to get people to understand for a while, is that, you know, we have to, a lot of people need to refrain from committing to a side. A lot of people need to understand that all of these people are bought and paid for. Stop committing to the Republican side. Stop committing to the Democrat side. As Black people, I'm just being completely honest. As Black people, we're just taught to vote blue because that's what Black people do. I didn't even mean to make that rhyme, but it needs to be a thing. We're taught to vote blue because that's what Black people do. But it's a fact. That's all we know. That's all we knew. Because I'm out of that now. But growing up, that's all we knew. And then when the older I got, I started realizing, why are you doing that? How about listen to the person to figure out, what are they pushing? What agendas? How are they going to make this country great? How are they going to make my life better? And I started paying attention to Kamala Harris, particularly. I even remember when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. And I was like, what? Why would you even say that? Obama, when Kamala Harris was running for president, Obama went into that room full of Black men and said, what, y'all got an issue with Black women? Y'all got an issue with Black women being a president? Black women being in power? Y'all got an issue with that? But then Obama went to Virginia, I believe the state was, and somebody was running for, it was governors, mayor, senator, whatever it was. And a Black woman was running for that position, but on the Republican side, and a white woman was running as a Democrat. So according to Obama's logic, you would think he would support the Black woman, right? He's so up everybody's butts about Kamala, but that you would think he would be for the Black woman. But no, he endorsed the white woman because that's what it's about. Sticking to a side. It's performative. And y'all know me. I don't care about the color, the race, all that. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. I'm pointing out that it's an agenda. It's never about, left, right, any of that. It's us versus them. Us versus them. That's what that's about. Everybody needs to collectively come together and vote for who makes the most sense for us, the people. And stop letting these folks get in charge. They want us divided. That's why they created the left, right, liberal, conservative, right wing, left wing. That's why they created that. They want us to just keep fighting each other. The whole time they got the same boss. They work for the same boss. They might be in different departments of the building, but they got the same boss. And so watching Trump sell out like this, because that's what it is. Trump sold out. He sold out. Because again, I didn't vote, but Trump was for sure the better fit. And to be honest, Kamala should take that very disrespectful, knowing the circumstances. With everything that's going on right now, Trump was still the better fit. But that just goes to show how bad the election was and what our options were. But Trump is the better fit. But he sold out. This situation right now is so bad. I'm a pro-life type of guy. I don't ever think it's anybody's call but God to say that somebody deserves to die. So just to say, I don't like the way this country's ran over there. Let's go take them out. You know how many people could say that about Trump? That's just not. I don't know. I don't know. Again, Charlie tried to say it many times and say, this happened with 9/11. This happened when we went into Iraq or Iraq, however y'all want to pronounce it. And we ended up being there for 20 years and lost a lot of soldiers. Iran is 3 times the size. So this ain't no little bitty country that you can just go in and do what they did to Gaza. This is totally different. And it's sad to see Trump sell out, because I think, in my opinion, my humbled opinion, I think that in 16, when he was elected the first time, I thought he had a soul then. I really do think that Trump had a soul in 2016. I thought that was kind of like, now looking back, hindsight is always 2020. I think that was a test run for the elites. And they were like, let's just see how Trump plays out. But if he gets back in office, oh yeah, you're going to do what we say. We let you have your way that time. This time is our way. But I thought he had his soul in 2016. But right now, I don't know what this is. I think this is bad in a lot of different ways. We sent Israel how much money? Just for them to say, y'all can't record anything going on in our country? What? You dead for real? We sent y'all billions. Probably hundreds of millions, but let's just say billions. I just want to be dramatic. It might be billions, but let's just be dramatic. Billions. We sent y'all billions. And y'all have the audacity to say we can't record nothing. We can't have any news anchors on the ground to report anything. Nothing. But you want our soldiers. You want our soldiers on the front line dying. But we can't even just be all the way for real with the news media. We can't get some news media outlets on the ground reporting what's actually going on in Israel. Because I don't know if y'all know, we can't report anything in Israel. They won't let us. They have, I think, CNN or somebody gets a far angle of Israel and they report stuff, but they're not allowed to like pan the camera or anything. And they even got caught slipping on the mic by saying Israel's government doesn't let us show certain things. They only let us show, what we're allowed to. And I'm like, after sending y'all billions, after being dragged into this war, after having American soldiers die, and y'all have the audacity to think y'all still can make the decisions and calls on what we can and can't report? Man, come on, bro. But in 2016, again, I thought, I thought he had somewhat of a soul. But again, I didn't vote for him then either. I'm just pointing out that he seemed more genuine then. But my perspective has always been these people are bought and paid for. All of them. Every single one of them. And that includes Trump in 2016. I just thought that he was more down to earth in 2016 than he is now. Now it's like he's a puppet. They're playing with him. So I don't know. Definitely crazy times. I don't know where this is going to go. Charlie Kirk warned everybody that this is the worst idea that could possibly happen. Now, what's going to come from that? I don't know. I just hope that it ends very soon. And it's sad to see that this is where we are, today as a country. But where we at? Hour and 20. Let's get to it, man. I appreciate y'all for sticking around and kind of like the first. No, I think it's the second or third live. So I definitely appreciate y'all. Oh, let me start off with the first super chat, man. I appreciate you. PH3676. You gonna go down in history as the first super chat ever. So I definitely appreciate it. You didn't even say anything. You just sent $2. So I definitely appreciate it. The fact that they are trying to push the ridiculous false narrative Charlie said Erika could be president, not a snowball chance. It's comical and disgusting at the same time. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they're pushing these narratives, especially that narrative. Very sickening to hear it, but yeah, we'll we know that's not going to go well for JD Vance particularly. Erika Kirk has already gone downhill. JD Vance is for sure going to lose all credibility if he chooses to run with Erika Kirk. Let's see. Trump appointed Erika Kirk to Air Force Academy board. Really? Interesting. I did not know that, but I'm also not surprised. Again, I believe Trump is in on this whole rebranding of Erika Kirk. I didn't vote either, and don't think I'm going to unless someone like Macy runs. Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. I haven't voted. I didn't vote in the last election. I actually got bamboozled and voted in 2020 for Joe Biden. I'll admit. And completely regret it. That was my first time ever voting. Not that I wasn't old enough. That was just like one of the times where I was like, man, I'll go vote. Like, why not? Let's see. And even after he said, if y'all don't vote for me, you ain't black, I still went anyway and voted. And I completely regret it. Completely regret it. But I was young. So, I guess that's what happens when the voter age is so low. You just naive to some stuff. Same vibes when she answered Charlie's last question. They are demonic. Absolutely. Shabbat shalom. She ran in Arizona in 2020. Who did? Erika did. See, this is why I got to keep. I know I do my chats at the end, but now I'm lost. Are there more Bride of Charlie episodes? Bride of Charlie episodes. Yes, there is. Today, Candace just wanted to kind of hit on what's going on in the world with Trump and all this other stuff. So I honestly was shocked by that too, because she said on Friday that we were going to get Monday and Tuesday were going to be the last two episodes of The Bride of Charlie. And today she didn't say anything and came out with this. However, towards the end of this episode, she said that tomorrow she will be resuming the Erika Kirk series. So tune in for tomorrow. Okay, you just said that again. I can hear my dog dreaming, howling in the back. Let's see. They act like God wanted Charlie to die so Erika could take over. It's crazy. That is what they act like. It's very disturbing on how everything they say is like, oh man, God works in mysterious ways, huh? Like, look at you now, Erika. And I'm like, bro, y'all can't take a man's life and then say God organized this in so many different ways, and now look what's going on. That should have never happened. Now, God's will and all of that stuff. So I'm not, y'all get what I'm saying, because obviously, God knows all, and he knows when you will be betrayed one day. If that is in your will, in his will. So I'm definitely not taking that away from God's will, but it just blows my mind when they say that God works in so many different ways. Like, look what's going on right now. God's working. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. That is insane. As if it was just supposed to happen this way. I don't know. Absolutely. Erika must be jailed. Hopefully one day. I'm rooting for it. He always wanted her to stay home. She said it herself. CK said to EK, home needs you. Yeah, and I don't even believe that, to be honest. You know, not that he didn't have that perspective. Yes, he did. But I don't think she was at home on 9/10. I don't think she was at home on 9/10. I talked to, you know, you have Barron's podcast that he has perspectives and opinions that she was at the airport on the tarmac in Utah when the Big Bang happened. And I can't wait for him to revisit that conversation. But also I talked to Turning Point, somebody that was affiliated with Turning Point still to this day. And she was talking about, you know, the messages that they received when everything first went down with the Big Bang. And, you know, the text that they were getting from people that were letting them know what's going on. And she said that somebody in that organization told everybody that Erika for sure had a flight plan. She had flight plans to go to Utah. So we gonna get there. But I think she was there. Erika has lied since she died. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 1000%. They are traitors, yes. So scary how much he was fooled. It is. It really is. Because he was a genius, but he was also naive to a lot. So it's scary to see that dynamic. But that's why I say he wasn't oblivious to everything. So, you know, I've never made Charlie, you know, out to be this perfect saint that just never would do any wrong. And no, I think he had, you know, an idea of a few things that were going on around Turning Point that he either let slide, condone, knew what was happening, but he didn't know all of it. But he definitely was fooled though, in general, overall. Yeah, she should. She definitely is lying about everything. Yes, can send super chats and stickers. We here now. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all for supporting all the way up to this point. But we are finally at super chats. We're finally monetized. All of that good jazz. So yes, I definitely appreciate it. And I appreciate you for sending over the first super chat. PH 3676. Everyone around him used him, and now they're racking in money from using his name and legacy to benefit them. Yeah, I mean, all of them for sure. But it's even weird seeing Andrew Covett, Mikey McCoy, Blake Neff, though, especially Blake Neff and Andrew Covett. It's just weird seeing those guys use the Charlie Kirk show, Charlie Kirk's Twitter or X, his YouTube. They're using everything Charlie Kirk's name because they know he has the largest audience. They know that's going to bring in the most money. They know that's going to bring in the most listeners. But yeah, they had a problem with like Candace making money when they made millions off of his death. And then somebody's probably going to say, well, it's the wife. She deserves it. Excuse me. I don't know. I just came to say your title made me puke in my mouth. That's funny. That is very funny. What's going on? Sorry, but personally, I'd rather have my husband in my life than the presidency and the power it comes with. Absolutely. I don't know, why Erika functions the way she does. She's some type of robot. But I agree. Definitely would rather have your husband than anything else. But apparently it's a blessing. I've heard her say that as well. It's a blessing for her to be in the position that she's in. Oh, another super chat. You get to jump to the front. Absolutely. You ain't even say anything. I just appreciate you supporting. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see, 11. Here we go. They are setting the stage. They are setting the stage. Absolutely. It's I can't wait. I'm glad that we're blowing up this whole Kirk Vance ticket. I'm glad we're blowing it up because now they got to pivot. And I'm interested to see what the next move is. You watched it today, but you missed some of it. Yeah, Candace's episode was good today. Definitely go back and watch the full thing, the whole thing. Erika for president. Yeah, that's not happening. We're going to keep blowing it up. The amazing Michael McCoy, they are diabolical and nefarious. Yes, I'll never get it. I don't know where they got the amazing Michael McCoy from. I don't know where Erika got that from, especially 3 days after her husband was assassinated. That's where she first said that behind Charlie's chair, caressing it with her first remarks. There's nobody on this earth that is amazing. I'm not complimenting anybody 3 days after my significant other passes in that manner. You're not amazing, especially after seeing a clip of you walking away. You're not amazing. She said the same thing about JD Vance and his wife. She called them something and was like, thank you so much for bringing him home. Like she said something, some compliment. I said, no, nobody's amazing 3 days after that happens. I'm pissed. You ain't get no compliment out of me. I watched you walk away from my husband as he was suffering. You're fired. How about that? Who can even watch that without feeling queasy? Mikey is gay. His dad is cringe, pedo vibes, and Turk seems delusional. He's doing evil, but for good. This assembly gives righteous gemstone a run. Look, that was funny. 10 out of 10 comment. That was hilarious. And I definitely don't, disagree with you. That definitely is very accurate. That could have been the call log to a burner decoy phone. Absolutely. Talking about Mikey McCoy's fabricated call logs that Erika brought. Yes, I agree. It was for sure fabricated. It wasn't a real cell phone record. So, yes, I agree with you. Mikey is amazing for not having any reaction to Charlie's death. He simply turns around and walks away. That's amazing. With less than a second, he walks away and calls his wife. It's crazy. It's fake when everybody's saying the same thing. They're coached to say that. Yes. That's how you know it's a memo going out, mass email, same talking points, all of that. That would be JD's biggest mistake. It will be. I'm not voting anyway. Somebody got to really come out of the woodworks, and it has to be somebody other than the main people. Like, I don't even care if Erika Kirk don't run with JD Vance. He's not getting my vote. Why? Because along with this Charlie Kirk investigation going on, the e-files, that was something that they would also campaigned on. full transparency. Full. Don't gaslight me into the definition of full. Showing me the emails, but redacting everybody's name is not full transparency. And the fact that they're protecting these predators, it bothers me. And especially if y'all have kids. If you do, then you should feel disturbed by what they're doing. Protecting these people that are openly saying that they're doing stuff to kids and all of that. So the fact that they campaigned on that and we didn't get full transparency, and Trump didn't even want to release him. He kept talking about, are we still talking about that? Are we still on that? He didn't want to release him. So, yeah, that's how I feel about all of that right now. Can't imagine they will find a single poll that would suggest Vance Kirk is winning is a winning strategy. Yeah, but they seem to go against all normalcy. So I wouldn't be surprised if they knew that it was going to be a terrible backlash, and they still might do it anyway. JD going to divorce his wife and marry EK. I've been seeing that rumor a lot. Dude, I've been seeing that rumor a lot. Does he even have a say at this point? You talking about JD Vance? I don't think so. I think he's you can't go against your party. That's just how it is. I just gotta stay ride or die. They will win if they rig the election. That's where Turning Point comes in my opinion. They can do a lot of things with Turning Point to make sure they win that election. And a lot of things, meaning some legal, a lot illegal. But we'll see. It will be like a high school student council. I promise I would get more glitter and more sparklers. JD felt so real and genuine. He did. JD was one of the, again, he felt very real and genuine in that debate with Tim Walsh back in the day, or a couple years ago. Erika was a horrible look for JD. Hopefully JD sees it. He sees all the backlash that he's getting for thinking about this idea. We need to start praying for real. Yeah, we are in some crazy times right now. Crazy times. Now JD is turning to tampon himself, tampon Tim. Yeah, JD he gotta save a lot of face, because a lot of people definitely have turned their backs on Trump. Or Trump turned their back. Excuse me. Trump turned their back on them. And yeah, so JD kind of got to make up for that. Then on top, he has to gain back the trust. So it's going to be hard. Can't believe how bad of a betrayal this is, but them to betray everyone that voted for them. I know, right? It's sick to really think about it. Absolutely. It's gonna be a no from me. I'm assuming this is another JD Vance vote that he just lost. And guess what? Tucker's son works for JD Vance. I saw that. I didn't get to confirm or anything like that, but I did see that coincidence. Glad to catch you live, professional. I appreciate you guys for joining in. I really do. Especially on this YouTube journey. I definitely appreciate y'all for joining in, because YouTube will humble you. You'll get on live or you'll make a video, because I've been there, and you'll put in all of this work to making a video and you'll get 5 views. So YouTube is very humbling. But you all have made it very fun for me to continue to grind. I will continue, trying my best to provide more frequent content, because I believe now I'm at like, 1 or 2 videos every like 4 days. I'm trying. My son be tiring me out. And this ain't full time yet for me. Like, we got work in 7 hours, but we on live grinding. So I definitely appreciate y'all though. This is all the experiment like COVID and BLM. I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Trump was not a friend to Charlie, and Charlie fought hard for Trump. That's what's sad. Because I seen a video earlier today of Charlie just crying when Trump first won, and knowing that Trump could have possibly been in on this and had prior knowledge, and if not part of the cover up, is very sad to think about, because Charlie really was like this young guy that just thought a lot of people cared about him that really didn't. They just cared about his money and influence. Erika has the worst PR team. Absolutely, she does. She really does. And they all claim to be Charlie's friend, but none of them are fighting for the truth at all. Yes, 1000% agree. I don't really know what they're fighting for, to be honest. Everything they're doing right now is the complete opposite, but they're telling us that it's not the opposite. I don't know. It's a big old psyop. A 501c3 isn't allowed to campaign for any specific candidate, but they are. And why? I don't know. I saw that too. Nonprofits are not allowed to campaign, do any different type of politics. But this is where the money laundering, the embezzling, the weird different things, loopholes that they try to, that they're jumping through. And that's by creating all of these different LLCs. And, even though some of these LLCs are also 501c3, some of them probably aren't. So again, Charlie built this system. So I think that Charlie was aware of some of these things, because he was making $200,000 to $300,000 as a 23-year-old. So I think he was aware of certain things, some things, but yeah, you are correct. The website is wild. Yeah. Vance Kirk 2028. Y'all better look out. Y'all better look out. Yeah, absolutely. They're talking about 2028 like we ain't about to go through a world war. Yeah, they want to make it seem like nothing's really going on right now, but a lot is going on right now. Just, honestly, it can get overwhelming if you look at it, if you try to focus on everything at once. Let's just hope Jesus comes back first. Yeah, that's man, it's probably a conversation for another time for sure, because I've had different opinions and thoughts on that. I've heard that often over the last, like, since this war has been going on, and I definitely was like, it's interesting the perspectives people have of saying, like, because of this they feel like Jesus is coming back. And obviously nobody knows the day, the time, of the hour, but it's interesting when this war has gone on or started, people have said this, but then I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, what about when the Gaza situation was going down? Why didn't you feel that way about that? And not that you feel this way about this at all. I'm just speaking in general. My thoughts is that I do think that it is crazy times that's going on right now. I just also think that it has been worse times, and people haven't said that. I don't know. It's just definitely a back and forth thing. And again, this is nothing towards you, just talking in general, my thoughts. I just think some people that say it for every situation and conversation, when the world looks a little crazy, I just think that some people got to understand that depending on the situation, you kind of lose credibility when people say Jesus is coming back for every single crisis that happens in America. Because then the people that look for opportunities to make fun of something that's so sacred, you just invite that by just putting stuff out there like that. Again, nothing towards you at all. These are just my thoughts on other things that's been going on around that same topic. 11:55. I appreciate it. PH 3676 with another super chat. I definitely appreciate your support, man. I really do. Okay. We getting there. TikTok is mass banning accounts. Yeah, they are acting very strange. That is why I am attempting to be, more versatile and definitely showing YouTube a lot more love, because TikTok has been very weird lately. Very. My chat GBT, when I asked if Talaboya helped the CIA kill Charlie, said yes. Well, it said Apple. So that means yes. Yeah, Tyler Boyd is a strange individual. I can't wait for us to figure out when him and Erika, or Erika and him, really met. Who's very young. Definitely. They need to arrest him already. Absolutely. Imagine all that studying of the Holy Scriptures and professed support for sodomy. I know. I know. I don't get this woman. I don't. I don't. She never wanted to be a housewife. No. Shalami has always wanted to pop out as a boss babe career girly. Always. Always. My bad. I'm literally reading the comments. I didn't even know it was this many. So I'm getting there. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at all of this stuff. I honestly understand the supers now, because you really start going through it all. I'm trying my best. Yes, I do watch Coach Colin. So some of my, recycled people, Candace is number one, never miss an episode. Baron, number two. As soon as I get done watching Candace, I have to watch Baron, because they kind of play off each other, especially Baron. Baron kind of plays off of Candace. 3 would be Coach Colin. 4 would be Lionel Nation. 5 would be Wolves in Finance, when he drops something about the finance part. I don't really like the part when he's hitting on the actual investigation, because sometimes he be saying some wild stuff. But the finance part, for sure. And there is one more, and this is a new YouTuber, similar to me, small channel. The Black Line Brief. The Black Line Brief, yeah. So he is also another person that I listen to as well. Only got about 8,000 subs. So I listen to him. Ian Carroll, I do listen to Ian Carroll, but it's not as often. I used to, but then there was a period where he stopped making content for a minute, like not that long ago, and then I just forgot. and then I only saw him on X, but I forgot to check YouTube. So I got to get back into Ian. Nothing wrong with Ian. I definitely do listen to Ian. I just forgot. Tucker Carlson is another, but Tucker Carlson doesn't really ever hit on this situation. But yeah, all of those, definitely Candace and Barron are my top two. But yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all for supporting, watching the video. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe, and definitely comment your thoughts on everything if you haven't already. And I will probably be live again very soon. This was definitely fun. I appreciate y'all support. Again, I appreciate y'all for getting this page monetized. We got monetized a couple of hours ago, so that's been great. So I appreciate y'all on this entire journey. I am still trying to navigate schedules because I am very I'm out there. If y'all follow me on TikTok, it'd be random when I get on live. So I'm not yet full time with this, so I can't really commit to certain days. I can't really say this day, and that day at this time I'll be live. I can't really do that yet. So I appreciate y'all for bearing with me and being patient, because I am still working full-time job, be doing my thing, all of that stuff. So and then I do YouTube and TikTok. I mix all of that in with my day-to-day activities. So I can't guarantee any day or time at the moment. But just follow me on all the different socials with TikTok and YouTube. There's 2 pages on TikTok, 1 on YouTube. And I definitely will go live on TikTok quicker just to say, hey, I'm about to go live on YouTube. I kind of did that tonight and it worked out well. So I'll do that in the future until I can commit to certain days and times. But I appreciate y'all for supporting this kind of chaotic structure at the moment. I'm getting better. The more we continue to grow, the more I can put more time into YouTube and put other things aside and schedule a plan. But all I can do is thank y'all and thank y'all for y'all support as always. And I hope y'all have a blessed night. If you're on the East Coast, you might want to hit the sheets real quick because it's 1:15. You might need an energy drink in the morning. If you're on any other time, you are very lucky because you still gonna have a great sleep. So I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time.